It has been 1 week nearly to the minute since we turned on our very first KS0 Ultra Kaspa miner on, so I thought I'd throw together a little video for you guys and talk about what I've learned over the last week using this mini ASIC, maybe talk about a couple of ways we can manipulate hash rate depending on your environment, and of course the most important thing, we'll look at how much we've made in that first week, because that's what it's all about. So if you're into that, make sure you hit that like button for me. If you've got a Kaspa miner and you want to talk a little bit more about Kaspa and mining in general, make sure you jump in the Discord. Link is in the description. Let's get into it. So the first thing we want to look at is the hash rate. As I said in the intro, can you manipulate it? So this screenshot was taken about 2 hours ago, just after I turned off all of the rigs in my my GPU and CPU mining room, except of course for the KS0. So because it gets hot in there during the day, I have these the fans on the KS0 running at 100% to keep it as cool as possible, or within a range that I deem to be cool enough. Now you can see the 5-minute hash rate 364, the 30-minute hash rate 392. So about 2 hours later, we end up here. 5-minute hash rate, much better. 30-minute hash rate, slightly better. Again, now the fans are down to about 40% at the moment. So this miner right now is running at about 60 degrees, 62, and in the previous screenshot, 50 degrees. So there has been a theory going around that these things like to run a little bit hotter. Well, it might not even be a theory. People are doing testing, and this has been my experience also. Now, I'm not sure what the thermal limit of these are at the moment. I generally like to keep things around the 60-degree range. Tops, they probably can go a lot hotter, but for me, that's just where my comfortability level is. I would rather keep it cooler and have slightly less hash rate, but at 60 degrees, I'm pretty happy. But in the middle of the day, even with fans at 100%, with 70 different GPUs going on in that room, it gets well over 60 degrees. So that's what we're using at the moment. Now, a good other little strategy I like to use is I've attached a fan, the USB fan, to those to that ASIC, mini ASIC, I should say. And what that does is it pulls more heat away from the heatsink and allows you to manipulate the temperature a bit better with the actual fans on the miner. So it's a good little strategy if you're trying to be able to manipulate the hash rate a little bit more. So that's what we've found so far. So let's jump on over and see what we've actually made. All right, so over on K1 Pool now, this is our Kaspa pool. This is the first time I've mined Kaspa to this wallet on K1 Pool. So everything we have pending and the total paid, as you can see here on the left, is purely from this KSO, and it is from the 1 week mark. And as I said, at the point of this recording, this is literally 7 days straight. This thing has been mining, so it's a pretty good representation of my silicon lottery. Everyone's KSO will be different, but this is a pretty good ballpark of what you can expect. So around 8 per day, just over, call that 8.1 if you round up. 24-hour hash rate, 379. Now it does give a disclaimer when you buy these saying it can deviate plus or minus 10% from that 400 gigahash. I haven't seen any deviating consistently plus 10%, but you get that. I have seen it spike up 10% for 5 minutes and then down 10% for 5 minutes, but them's the breaks. That's how it works. So let's jump on over and see what that's actually made us over the past week. So I've taken the liberty of already entering these numbers in. You can see we've yielded, or our revenue is 79.735 Kaspa, or 20.32 AUD Australian dollars. So just so everybody knows, Aussie dollars, Australian guy, makes sense, right? You can do the calculation yourself depending on where you are in the world. Pretty simple stuff. So let's have a look. Let's pull up the calculator. So this is weekly we've made. So what we'll do is to find out how much electricity we've actually used and paid for. And then we'll deduct that and figure out what we've made per week, maybe have a look at it per day, that sort of stuff. So we're pulling 100 watts, we times that by 24, we press equals for 1 day, times that by 7 days, divide that by 1000, and that's going to give us our kilowatt hours over that 7-day period. We then times that number by 0.19, which is our electric rate, and you can see we've used $3.19 in electricity in a week. So literally nothing. These things are just crazy, crazy efficient. I love them. So if we go 20.319, we minus our electricity in that period, we've made about $17, $17.12. So if we want to find out per day, let's just divide that by 7. $2.44 profit per day. And you know, to put that into perspective, I think my 8x30/70 rig on Zealous is making about 40 cents. You know what I mean? So 5 times as much as 8/30/70s or whatever it is, that's just crazy, crazy numbers. So far, so good. Now I'm hanging out for my other 9 to get here, which will just be unbelievable. You know, $200 a week, less electricity will be pretty nice. And also excited for those KS5M and KS5L, 3L. Can't remember the name of the ASICs off the top of my head. I'm scrambled, but I know a lot of people are waiting on hosting for those as well. So I'm pretty excited about that, which brings me to my next point, the hash rate. So price is down about 8% on Kaspa. It's up 7% in the last 24 hours, but overall the week it is down 8%, I think it was, and the hash rate seems to be up ever so slightly. Now, if you look here when it says 372, we're at 376. I don't think that's what you would go off, because you see a lot bigger spikes up here, you know, the eye test guys. So hash rate has gone up while price has gone down, but to be fair, I'm still pretty happy with where it's sitting. So now all we're waiting is to get those other, get those 9 KS0s here and get those ASICs mining ASAP, because with all this hash rate coming online, I'm sure in the next 2 months, we're going to look back at this and it's going to be easily over 400 guaranteed. I mean, there's already spikes there, maybe even 420, 450, who knows, but pretty good little weekly. You know, I can't remember what it was, about $16 or something, profit $17. Very nice so far. We will take that, especially for how low maintenance these things are. So that is all we're going to cover today, guys. Just a real quick one for you guys. Hopefully, maybe you can do a bit of hash rate deviation yourself, looking at temperatures, but you know, be careful. I like to keep these things cool, but you know, your hardware, you can do what you want with it. But I have personally noticed a slightly better hash rate at a slightly higher temperature, and I think a few other people have as well. So also a pretty good profit for the week, slightly less than we predicted, but we did mention that we knew hash rate was going to go up. We knew the price was going to slightly go down after the recent buzz. So think about $17 profit, $20 revenue per week. We'll take that every single day for a silent ASIC miner that uses no power and requires, at this stage, knock on wood, no maintenance. That will wrap it up, guys. Make sure you join the Discord. Like I said, if you want a few more perks, have a think about that membership, hit that join button below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.